You are watching CIOTV by Enterprise IT World, a production of Accent Infomedia.
Good morning, everyone. So thanks all for joining us for this session. And the session is quite interesting, digital transformation in BFSI. We all know that digital transformation about, and in India and globally also, BFSI is one sector which has adopted the digital transformation, in a primary way. Because this is one industry which caters most of the sectors. Outside India also, there are a couple of other industries who have adopted the digital transformation for their business sake. But in India, if you see, the BFSI is a one prime sector which is adopting all the disruptive technology ahead of the others. So understand, why digital transformation, all we know. But why it is caters or beneficial for a BFSI sector, let us first understand the customer base we are talking about, at least at India perspective. Right? I will share a couple of facts which have been published very recently, that India will become the third largest domestic banking sector by 2050, after China and US. And with India's working age population set to increase over the next decade, it promises exponential growth. So that kind of exponential growth is expected. And according to IBA data, India mobile wallet industry is estimated to grow at a CAGR of 150% to reach $4.4 billion. It is that big market. And if you talk about the mobile wallet transaction, it's going to touch $490 billion by 2022. So with that scale of user base, if we talk about India perspective, so that one thing which can take the banking sector or the BFSI sector along is the digital disruption using the emerging technologies, and that is what we call the digital transformation is. So to understand why it is required for this BFSI sector, initially it was very easy for any banking or BFSI sector to gain any user base. Even in our early days, we were choosing a bank whose branch was near to our residence. But that is not the criteria nowadays. We look for the kind of service the banks are providing, kind of customer touch they have, kind of solutions they give us to us. So from our esteemed panelists, let us try to understand that why digital transformation is required for this kind of industry. Right? To start with Amit, if you can share your views on this, please.
Thank you, Upkar. From my standpoint, I'm not from a banking sector. I'm primarily from a commercial transport company, which is Western Union. If you look at it, digital transformation for us is all about agility, scalability, and reinventing the processes and the business models that we already have been living for ages now. It's all about that. When we look at digital transformation, we need not necessarily be disruptive, but if you are not disruptive, you better be careful about the competition who is going to overtake you sooner or later. Keeping that in mind, take the benefit of the technology advancements that are happening around all of us. So when we talk about technology, so there have been a lot of technical jargons that we have been hearing in the recent past, probably a couple of years or more, primarily around blockchain, artificial intelligence, machine learning. Though we don't see an adoption of that at a very large scale today, but there are quite a few organizations who have started reaping the benefits out of it. And I can say that we ourselves, we have adopted some pieces of it. And when we talk about it, cloud comes as an integral part of this technical journey that we are talking about. So I'm not going to touch upon the blockchain, artificial intelligence and machine learnings of the world, that I'll leave it for the other panelists to talk about. I'll touch upon quickly as to what we are doing around cloud. So when you look at the banking or the financial industry overall, we are talking about the open channels. That's a need of an hour, especially when we look at the regulations like PSD2, which primarily talks about the directive of the payment services version 2.0, which has got launched in Europe. It opens up a channel of connecting the banking or the financial sector with the fintechs of the world. Now, when you do that, the only way you can integrate is using an APIs. These APIs necessarily need not be unidirectional. This will be primarily bidirectional for both the companies to reap benefits out of it. And when we do that, we feel that rather than being on-premise traditional model, we will be better off when we do it over cloud. The moment we say cloud, it need not be again necessarily a public cloud, it can be a private cloud or a hybrid cloud, the way we look at it. However, it opens up a lot of Pandora boxes in terms of security, in terms of regulations, in terms of the controls that we need to put in place to achieve the final business objectives that both the companies may have. Having said that, 3 days back, if you look at it, so IT is business today. Even if you are into financial services, IT is no more a backbone. IT actually contributes to business directly. Just to give you an example, 3 days back, I'm not too sure how many of you guys have seen this news. There was a release which talked about HDFC Life as the stock, okay, and that stock had coverage given by Morgan Stanley MSCI into their investor report, and they have given a buy call on that from a stock market perspective. And they covered technology as an advantage of this company over others to initiate that kind of a view, which goes to show that IT is now business for everyone. Despite of them being into a life insurance business, the coverage is given based on the technology advantage that this company stands to. And they talk very simple as to, when you talk about technology, as I said, it need not be disruptive. So they're talking about reducing the inefficiencies, enhancing the customer experience, putting up simple things into a different perspective, wherein a customer today, most of the customers today are impatient. Everyone wants everything instantly. Okay, they need not wait for something to come to them. Giving that kind of an experience, even in the financial services, is the need of an hour. And if you are able to generate that kind of a platform using the technology advancement that are happening, I think we are done. And that's precisely what our view had been, wherein we are trying to leverage on these technologies around and trying to create that kind of a customer experience, wherein we are able to not only retain the customers that we have, but also attract new customers as we move along. So that's largely about from my side as far as the digital transformation for us and the overall industry is.
Right, Amit. As you said, the new channels are opening up, and IT is playing the pivotal role in the business transformation, at least from the BFSI point of view. So, new channels, personalized service, you're making really sense out of this technology usage in this industry, because it directly caters to the end users. The end users' expectations are increasing accordingly. So, if we can pass on this to Anand. Yeah. Anand, so what's your take or experience from your sector, that why is this transformation, basically digital transformation, is mandatory kind of requirement for BFSI, and how it caters to the business value and to the user and user satisfaction?
Hi. So thanks, Amit. I think you have done half of my job and you've set the context very rightly. Now let's look at. I mean, I represent an NBFC capital trust. Now, when you talk about NBFCs, I mean, with this NDA government coming up, there is a huge focus in terms of financial inclusion. And that is how this industry, NBFC industry, microfinance industry has been promoted. And a lot of policies are coming up to promote it. But there are certain, I would say, irritants which have come up of late, but I think that will get sorted out, and they are already getting sorted out. Now, in an NB, when we talk about this industry, I mean, most of the NBFCs are covering the similar kind of geographies. I mean, you may cover X state, you may be Y state, but I mean, they will always have some other NBFC in your state. Now, products are almost same. Interest rate may not be very different. Then, for a consumer or a client, why should he come to A NBFC or B NBFC or C NBFC? Now, the differentiator would be how transparent you are to a customer, what kind of services you are able to give to a customer. Ultimately, the service that is going to be a differentiator when a customer decides to come to you or he wants to stick with you. I mean, there are companies, he says, come to me, you prepay my loan and take 2% rebate and come to me. Why should I go? If I am satisfied with my existing company, existing lender, I would not. And that is where technology plays an important and key role in terms of this thing. Now, we are fundamentally operating in tier 3 kind of towns, where we have small loans, ticket size loan from 30,000 rupees up to a lakh of rupees. Now, this consumer of this loan obviously could be a rural person or a person who may not be very tech savvy. At the same time, the internet connectivity in those areas may also not be very good. Now still, what we did, we are a completely digital NBFC, wherein we have right from loan sourcing till disbursement, till collection recovery, everything is completely fully digitized. Now, loan sourcing, there are hundreds of software, a lot of companies are doing it, they have tablets, they go enter some data. In our scenario, data entry is minimal. That is how you empower your employee to be able to source higher amount of loan with a higher satisfaction for himself. Otherwise, he will be doing a lot of entry, then he will not be able to fulfill target and a lot of things will be. Now, so once the data has been entered, you have to upload the documents of the borrower. Now these documents once are uploaded in a scenario in a village. Now I am the sourcer, I walk up to a client, say this is the documents I need, he said okay fine. But there is no internet connectivity or it is only 2G, what do I do? I mean I can't be doing coming back again. There is no internet or I can't be carrying the document, client may not be willing to give me the document at those times. So what we did, we have a functionality. Which functionality is that? You upload all the document and you sync once you are in a better internet connectivity zone. So it helps in terms of one, it could be if client has walked in or it is somewhere, so you avoid client multiple walk-in of the client. So you improve the client satisfaction. That is one part. Now then comes the credit rules. Now when you talk about this rural sector, you may not have ITR returns. This is utilized through the various means. Again, so technology and innovation has to play a picture. So what we do, somebody walks in, somebody might have some dairy. So what is the income? I mean, in a rural he will not maintain registers, but he will have some kacha parchi. Maybe Anand Aggarwal say 100 rupees का आज दूध दिया इनसे 500 रुपए का था इनसे. So that actually what comes into the income of that particular person. So all those proofs are taken, built into a rule engine, and then the credit rules are applied to validate whether the person is eligible to be taken a loan or not. That is part as far as the credit ruling and sanctioning of the loan is concerned. Now, loan is sourced, loan is sanctioned, now money has to be. Now when we talk of money disbursement, most of them would be having a bank account, so money is disbursed. Disbursing money is not a challenge. The challenge comes, how do I recover that money? Because that timely recovery is extremely important. Now, literacy may not be very high. E-Nash may not be available. What do I do? So, physical Nash, checks may not be all. People will say, I need 12 checks, I need 14 checks for the purpose loan. A challenge, because from a public sector bank to get a checkbook of 20 is a huge thing. It will take 20 days, 30 days or so. What we did to take care of this particular challenge, we tied up with a large company, well-known company which is into the wallet services across India. So what we did is that we said, okay, at least people know how to use the services of this company. I don't have to teach people to them. So they are into the finance, small finance, they are into the banking space also now. So we said when we disbursing a loan, we will mandatorily open a account with the same company because people are habitual of using that company services as such for a day-to-day basis needs. Immediately what we did, we will open an account and we will do a penny drop to validate the account listing. And at the same time, we will create an e-Nash. So that problem is also getting taken care of with that particular methodology. Now, this is done. Now coming back to the step, I just take a step back in terms of the signing of the documents. Again, a customer has to walk in or I need to go to the customer for the signing of the document. So what we did, we have a completely digital signature process, e-sign process. So once the document uploaded, you don't need to do anything. Documents are digitally signed and you can just relax at your place, loan is disbursed and the installment will start coming because we have already taken the e-Nash to that particular mechanism. So now this is how we have done in terms of this thing. Now coming back, another important thing, loan is disbursed, client has got money in his account, client has started paying installment. How do I know what money which I am paying to the particular company, how that money is getting accounted? Are the money being, or is it actually been accounted in my account or not? So again, the transparency factor, which is a servicing. Now coming back to servicing, what is a transparency thing? Now we have given access to the consumer, again on our mobile app, wherein it is like a bank passport. You know how much loan was disbursed to you, how much installment you have paid, what is interest being charged, what is the amount balance, what are the documents you have given to the company. So all those things are stored and available to him digitally. Now, good, excellent initiative. But the point is, it has to be extremely user-friendly, it has to be extremely easy. Then only the rural consumer will be able to going to be using it. Otherwise, I may say it is, wow, it is a great app. But if a consumer and person is not able to use, then what is the purpose of having that particular digital piece available to him? So when we develop such an initiative, we always take the feedback from the set of control set of users, ask them how it is, and then it is further rolled out. So I think that's it, Upkar. I just wanted to add on to this. Thank you.
Yeah, Anand very well explained. Very well. Hello. You very well explained the rural use case of the technology in data center. So just one more question. Do you see that the rural users are adopting the usage of this mobile wallet or the technology that is, because now people do use the smartphones very regularly in all kinds of sectors. So the adoption of that usage of wallet or technology by the end user is satisfaction.
So I say there are two parts to this your question. One is adoption from the mobile app perspective, which is extremely high. Now, the second part of the question is adoption of the wallets and the allied technology system. No. There, what we are doing, we have to educate users. So when a customer walks in, we educate him. See, he knows how to transact using that particular wallet because of his own other part of interaction, online shopping which he has been doing. But this good thing is that that wallet is also closely linked with the banking system. But I still need to help him first time to understand this is how, why these two are different wallet and this thing, and how this will help him. So once we explain him, and see, in every household, even rural, there is at least one or two person who are tech savvy. So that helps to inculcate the culture into the system.
So technology with the customer service is helping you out the world. Right. So Mr. Raveendran, you are again from Sakthi Finance. So just we have a couple of cases from the customer service point of view. So just I would like to know from your experience that this digital transformation is helping acquisition of new customers to be cheaper and reliable.
In fact, Amit and Anand, I think they covered most of the areas. At the stage, digital transformation, really, back in finance, like I think two dimensions. One is like, customer experience. Second thing is, to enable the internal stakeholders, to keep that customer experience. And see, we are a deposit-taking non-banking finance. Like Anand was mentioning, quantified challenge for our hyperchief and customers are red-pocket, red-solid. So there is a one segment of customers we see there the level and adoption of IT and all is not that big. From a normal phone, now they are getting elevated to WhatsApp usage. Not beyond that. They are not challengingly, the other set of customers are not positive. They are in the higher side. It trains their expectations are very high. So, IT has to enable both segment of customers to enrich the customer experience. One segment, like we are to try to reach proper channel as far as deposits are concerned, like digital marketing. We have the base ERP and all of the pre-communication based on. But I can't say that as a digital transformation problem for over. Now we are enabling our application or going to suitable add-on applications. See that and you take both the customer bases. One important thing I want to achieve app. Turnaround time is the key factor. Everybody is calculator, so the approaches and the experts that check or someone we can know some hours. Days are gone, now I think we take some days notes to the company. Hereby, the approaches us around the two reports from companies, not like finance alone. These are cases. So the tag enhancement part, I think, and we have CRM in place so that they don't reach get maximum detail, accounts load clearly, and the team is totally monitoring cloud, what the instructions to be given so that we take it. And from that point onwards, and the CIOC is also and single check is automated. So that the idea, the quality is like, and he will also get posted what is happening. Honestly, earlier, suppose the guy is approaching us, prospect, till he get the check, there's no proof, I can admit. But now the scenario is complete stages and all, he can monitor, and we are communicating through SMS and WhatsApp. If you rejected this case, or you need more reports, please. So we take that as an important purpose of customer. And the app we have now, the marketing officer, instructed to visit the customer very frequently. And we are monitoring the permanent journey plan. Even now, fencing, the geo-tagging, complete movements are monitored, not for policing purpose. We want to ensure like the guy who visit goes there, not only for collection.
Basically, on time.
And internal part of one another is like started using AI.
Yeah.
I think we a very interesting part here. What the management is expecting now. Okay. I see the past history of particular system. What it does say, how it will, whether we will pay 100% to we need to produce. This is what the expectations of the management. So we take it as an important
It will be good if you can share a couple of use cases of AI in
one aspect, we now started working, started taking the thing like the collection. Another outside section of one of the amount is paid is fine. Now, so we have to be with the customers to follow up and get that money. And we have a mobile app, everything is very clear, like those collected, all fine. But what management is investor know, because as per the RBI norms, I think more than 3 to arrears can be. That is very critical. And now India is coming up. Now we have to even predict and book the liability in advance. So the use case currently it is already started in the results right now. For the cases now you have to pay more attention. Instead of one visit, we make 3 visits so that now let the guy not easy.
well,
This is an interesting case. Next year, what we are opening up now, based on past history, whether that guy is approaching for another loan, is it worth it? Maybe the loan again, based on the past history. It is clear, we are going to use not a parameter in the AI, like that. It is very clear, green chat. The tag can be, sometimes even from not so many others.
very good.
That is the one case.
Well, so I would like to share one such case from our industry for the application of AI in BFSI. So, we have even, provided the services or application to the end customer like banks and financial institutions about the next extension of AI, that is Edge AI. Right? As he said, mentioned that, the timely service is required to the end customer is required. So we have one such requirement from a bank from Middle East that they wanted to use AI for the fraud detection. At the time budget, our client was having 1 second only. So as soon as someone swipes their card on a POS machine or ATM machine, right, the application has to respond back, right, within a second. Right? So what kind of emerging technologies to be used in that case? So while planning all this solution, we had used Edge AI for that purpose, right? Bringing the decision making and the processing of data towards the micro data center, and using a technology called MemSQL, which process the data very fast and provide the decision making at the edge level, right? And we could achieve 45 milliseconds to deliver that result. So technology is really making sense into the applications today, at least in the BFSI sector, to provide a better and support to the end users making decisions. Yep.
So, to take care of the rural public understanding technology, what we also started doing is that we have integrated our application with the WhatsApp. So you send a message to the customer WhatsApp saying that your loan is sanctioned or your installment is due or your disbursement is done. So that also works because your customer is available over WhatsApp.
Basically kind of omni-channel experience for the end customer. Yeah.
Like this reachability part, like I already mentioned SMS, now it got elevated to WhatsApp. We done a study of about we're very surprised, like they not see SMS, they are in WhatsApp. Thanks to the linear.
Yeah, absolutely.
But in the deposit side, they are expecting us to be done on part of email. and very surprisingly, social media. What they are expecting now, we expect the link to apply for the deposit. Facebook or Twitter, it's not that we will have. So we are at two ends now. So the challenge on the IT to CEOs is like see that market balance. Management is supporting for that, so another important part now I touch upon is the compliance aspect. There also I want to bring under the digital transformation part. NBFCs are now nowadays cornered like RBI or ATV or SEBI, and bottom management is expected how can we start got enabled in such a manner, validated and now moved outside. So that also management is expecting now to take it as an important issue. It's not like a transaction process, different. It's more than that.
Good. Mr. Raveendran, one more thing. Liking in your case and our NBFC case, does the board is agreeing to all such investment in the emerging technologies from all these channels point of view?
In fact, on the NBFCs, nowadays, the board is accountable for all decisions. Security, any breach is happening, it has to be reported to the board. And I think RBI has been. But all these IT initiatives, I think RBI, they given a master direction, like 2 years back, they clearly made it known to form an IT strategy committee. Okay? An IT strategy committee, we have to periodically report to the board. Normally, we do know in every board meeting, we submit a report. These are the initiatives happening. In fact, it's a blessing in disguise. It's a double-edged knife. But we get questioned at the same time. It's easy for us now to get approved from the board. So this initiative, we want to take it up. Suppose for example, IoT, we have started working.
Okay.
We want to fit the IoT devices in the vehicle to monitor the movements. It is a very great challenge for the NBFCs.
So you will be collecting data from the IoT gateways?
Yes. What is happening? First thing is data. Second thing is traceability of the vehicle.
Okay.
Especially if some construction equipments are high value, only we provide finance for the pre-owned vehicle and construction equipments. So some construction equipments are they have number plates. Some are not registered.
So what will it help into? Will it help into the reduction of the fraud cases?
Exactly. What happened now? Suppose he is not paying regularly.
Okay.
So you want to repossess the vehicle.
Okay.
Suppose that guy, customer may not be cooperating sometimes. He may say, no, the vehicle is not here, etc. But this can be monitored.
Right.
Suppose he may be taking the loan by without, but that vehicle may be getting operated in somewhere in Andhra Pradesh or some part of the same.
Yeah.
So because of the high value, we have to act in a sure manner now to take the repossession away. So this IoT will be very expected. And we are formalizing it also. That you should not tamper it, something. Some customers they do something.
Right. Let me go back to Amit now. Amit, as you are from Western Union, so we would like to know, your experience of the security per se in Western Union, like transferring money from the road and saving asset. So what kind of initiatives you have taken, or what the user from point of view, the user should need to know while transacting such things, and how you are educating your end user as well as the internal workforce.
Good question. So if you look at it not only from Western Union, but I will generalize it from a perspective of money transfer or the Paytm kind of a world perspective. Okay. Users today are very tech savvy. Despite of that, we see a lot of frauds happening on daily basis. Okay. The reason being, hackers are actually a couple of steps ahead of what the companies are talking. Having said that, we can do minimum in terms of letting the users know about the basics, do's and don'ts. We can only protect them in terms of adding additional security features like MPIN, two-factor authentication, SMS-based authentications and so on when they're carrying out the digital transactions. But at times, people still fall prey to the scams that are going around. Okay, in fact, 15 days back, there was a scam in Mumbai. I'm not too sure how many of you got a WhatsApp forward, where a female, she went for her friend's relative's funeral, and she said, okay, for this Shok Sabha, I will go and I will book in the Gurudwara in Mumbai. And she tried calling, she did Googling. She found out a nearby Gurudwara where she could avail this facility of arranging a Shok Sabha. And the guy actually told her that you need to make 5 rupees as an advance payment and the booking will be done for you for tomorrow. It all thought to be legitimate because she called upon the number after doing the booking for that. He sends her a form back saying that you need to fill in this form to get the booking done. She clicks on that form and within no time the money was gone from her Google Pay account. Okay. So this is the public news actually. If you do Google, you will get to know about it. People falling, literate people, she is one of the female who acknowledged saying that, oh, she was very wary about such things happening and she was aware that there are fraud happening, but yet she had fallen prey for it. So from our side, we are doing all possible as far as protecting the customer's interest and the user interest is in terms of adding multiple security layers, not only on the security side of the service provider is concerned in terms of encryption, access controls and so on, but also onto the user side of it in terms of multiple authentication layers and so on. But these things are also happening. So I'll just stop here, okay? Because one, everyone's taking care of what they could in terms of protecting the interest. However, we also need to keep informed in terms of what are the new things that are happening around. And these informations are actually not flowing through easily in terms of informing your customers of the advanced level of fraud that are going to happen.
Very true, Amit. Even I have experienced that. The companies have now started using the analytics to detect any such kind of fraud. And in one such case, I knew that in EMEA, one of such bank is doing a deal with their senior citizen customers. So like we used to do a phishing drill in our organizations, right? They have started doing the same with their end customers. Just sending a fake message, and then if they do attend to that message, then banks calls them and say that you did this wrong, so you need to educate yourself. So they checks with their customer, and this is getting a hit in Myanmar. So this is the kind of approach now banks have started doing that, right?
One more case study. In fact, last week in Bangalore, a guy orders a pizza on one of the famous apps.
Yeah.
And it turned out that the outlet was already closed. He calls up that number saying that I had ordered for a pizza and it's yet not delivered. So he says, oh sorry sir, the outlet is already closed, but we will reinitiate the refund for you. He gets a call back for that refund, and during that call, the entire money is siphoned off from his linked account. Okay. So that's a classic case of the world that we are living in.
Very true. Mr. Anand, as you are from NBFC, so NBFC now have a skeptical for such are more prone to cybercrime and fraud. Yes, you have a question. Yeah, please.
As I said, everyone is taken care of as far as the security, inbuilt security into their processes and their applications are concerned. And as I said, the hackers are actually a step forward. Okay? In the first case that I talked about, it was a SIM card cloning. Okay, that was done by clicking on the link. Sorry. In case of the pizza order, I won't say that anyone was wrong here. It was more that a hacker was smart to find out a loophole into the system, okay, and get things done. So that's how it is, and that's precisely what makes us improving on daily basis. Okay, in terms of what additional features we can build into our applications and what more we can do to prevent such scams. Unfortunately, this company do not have a telephony support available, where we could have actually reported the scam in the first transaction happened.
Everyone can accept this was the case, but what the organization, it is very difficult being a CIO to answer because anyone will ask, then we should stop the film order. And the button is already very
So in this case, if you look at it, it was more of a user fault, I would say. Okay, that when someone tells you that he is going to initiate a refund and that's where you are supposed to click on some URLs or whatever, you got to be very careful when you are getting something as a message on SMS or WhatsApp and you have been asked to click on a link. You got to be very careful around that. You got to verify that multiple times before you actually do that. That probably was it.
Yeah, also, what we have experienced that having a technology only, lot of technologies tools are available to detect such things and prevent such things. But user education and user education is also of prime requirement. Because both the things will, I gave you an example of an India bank. So while doing that, then they have seen a reduction in such frauds in their